All right. All right. Check one, check two. This is it.
Uno,
I've said that before, but no, this is
tres,
really it. Welcome
cuatro.
to the Cannabis Coffee Hour with your host, me, Rob Cantrell, coming at you for episode, is it 160? Oh, I gotta check that out. I mean, we've been doing this for a minute. I think the episode we are at, 158. We're not 160. Don't get ahead of yourself. I get so excited. I'm glad to be here. I appreciate you listening to the Cannabis Coffee Hour. Yeah, it's moving and grooving. And this is a solo episode, but I got some Sherbert Sunrise cannabis that is delightful and definitely makes me feel very happy. So get ready for a delightful and happy episode of the Cannabis Coffee Hour. I actually have some iced coffee here. I have cold brew that I picked up because I bought a whole big bag of beans. Like I got gifted so much coffee. Like everybody knows me, knows that, I mean, if you're going to give me something, coffee and weed is going to get used. Because I do have a podcast and I do some hip hop songs and I do a lot of stand up. And the pandemic, cannabis in the pandemic has, I mean, I've said it before. You got to, this podcast is positive over negative. And the pandemic is a bummer and all that. But a lot of like walking like the samurai, is like walking with your head high, even in the hardest conditions. So I know everybody's struggling and, that's the weird thing that we're all kind of going through it. So our heart does open up and get softer when you go through shit together. But yeah, the pandemic has been rough, but thank God or Jah or whatever is lighting that light inside your heart. Thankfully, cannabis has been slowly getting legal. Like in New York, I really have been somewhat lazy about signing up for the legalization process. I need to do that because it is opening up. Like every other week, I'm getting more emails about, even like government emails about cannabis businesses and cannabis opening up and how do you sign up. So when the government is the C student of the world. The government is always lagging behind on shit, but in terms of cannabis, like if they're saying it's going to open up in New York, it really does need to open up in New York. If anybody's listened to this podcast, the trials and tribulations of living in a not legalized state, whereas some of these states, it's the United States of America. Some of these states are fully legal. Like you go to Colorado, it's like whatever. California's whatever. Michigan has gotten to be almost whatever. But what you find out is it's not a huge amount of the population. It's just some people need some herb. And, I'm one of those guys. I don't ever want to say need because I think need is a little rough. I'm really trying to live in the moment. And one thing that I've been doing with my meditation, I won't talk crazy meditation, and I ain't perfect. Like I skipped the other day. I was doing 40-minute meditations and then I skipped and then it got hard. Today I made it to like 32, and just thinking about the podcast, lining up guests, I'm tracking down all this stuff with my rights to my music. So that's taking a little bit. I self-released Caffeinated Dope Rhymes, which is an album. But I did all of the back end, meaning I like signing up the rights for Sound Exchange. And then there's even this other like global tracking of your copyright. And so I'm figuring that all out. Which seems to be the gig because, streaming and moving and grooving and coming up with new shit and making it pop is the name of the game. and it don't stop. Um, especially with the podcast. Consistency is definitely, I appreciate you guys listening. I'm going to make this. I even wrote down some notes, some things to talk about, some tunes I've been grooving out on. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to rock? Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is the tune I've been getting into. It's Cheap Trick. And the song is called Hello There. And it's just like an intro banger tune. And it's just a rocker. And it consists of like 3 chords. And they just hang on it for like a minute and a half. And they do this really simple chorus. It's really like Cheap Trick has got some jams, you know. They got some good tunes. I mean, the sample that the Beastie used is like one of the best samples of all. This next one is a song off our new album. You know, Cheap Trick was like that 70s rock. You know, that's what they were pumping in the parking lots at Fast Times at Ridgemont High. You know, that was like 80s glam, new wave. Like they weren't even that punk, but they weren't that heavy metal, and they were just rock and roll, but they were funny, silly rock and roll. Like the cool thing about punk is the silliness and the comedy of it. It's the denial of reality, which is dope. Most deep shit is like the silliest shit. And the deepest shit is like the stupidest shit, you know. Hello there, lady. I just like play it over and over on my headphones on YouTube, like nonstop. I don't know. It gets me psyched, and it's like real, and the chord change, and towards the end they do this harmony thing that sounds really fucking dope. I want to give out a shout out to the last episode. Last episode was dope. I had a great guest. Jamel Johnson was hilarious. He did that on the fly. You know, I think a little bit is my anxiety of asking people to do the podcast, and it's during the week. And I also am trying to get better at listening, but I also have a lot of shit I want to talk about. And that was one of the reasons I was going to do the podcast. Like what really I want to talk about is performing live. Like I've been dipping. I dipped Christmas. I dipped, man. I was booked on Christmas Day, and I turned down spots, been turning down spots. You know, the podcast, I appreciate you guys listening. Like this is, you know, definitely what I've used to kind of keep sharp and try to stay easy on the mic. But yeah, so I dipped out and I haven't been performing live. So I booked this gig coming up on February 20th at Littlefield. It's a great, dope venue, man. This venue is so chill. It's not in the main cut of Brooklyn. It's off of Park Slope, but really near the Barclays Center. And it's a space, a really great space to see comedy. I've done a lot of great shows there. I did my album release of Pure Uncut Joy. The release party was there, and I had a blast. And it's just like 150 to 200 seat. They have this dope like light strobe thing going on in the background. The stage is like 2 to 3 feet up. The sound is awesome. The back bar is dope. It's in a chill neighborhood. There's plenty of tacos and slices everywhere you look. So come on out on the 20th. I got a sick lineup. Joe Pera from the Joe Pera Show. He's going to come over, rocking some LL Bean, and drinking probably a thermos of tomato soup. And he's going to come through and do a set of stand-up. And I'm just going to host. It's like I said, like I've dipped out of stand-up, so I haven't been going, but I've been doing the podcast. And I did some headlining sets right before Christmas, which was, thank God. And and I got offered some shit just last week, but I think I'm just going to dip Omicron. I'm just trying to dip out a little bit and then come back. I haven't caught it yet. Knock on wood. I got to take some tests. And I know everybody, I just want to say I'm grateful and pray and love everybody going through this. I don't think we give ourselves enough credit. That's what I've been trying to do, is give myself credit, but you don't want to like indulge the ego too much, but you also don't want to be hard on yourself. So I've been writing, and I got all these projects that I'm pushing through. But the key is not to talk about it. The key is doing it. And that's what helps me with being consistent with this podcast and talking it out with you. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to rock? If you think this is annoying, just look up the song. I don't know if we're fucking with Spotify. Right now, Spotify is in a weird space for me, man. I don't want to go official on anything, but I don't know. They don't have my album up there. And then my caffeinated dope rhymes, I got half the songs, and I wrote them an email and they haven't gotten back to me. It's been like 3 weeks. I'm not saying I'm everything, but I do put out some good tunes and some good stand-up, and I would like it represented on your platform, and you're doing a sloppy job. I don't even have to trash it. It is what it is. But I tell you what's quality right now. What I love is Book of Boba Fett. The Book of Boba Fett is keeping me in the zone, man. I mean, it's a little bit all over the map, but man, it's a story out of nothing, but it's also Star Wars. But the last 2 episodes, we're up to episode 6, Mandalorian, but I watched all the Mandalorians. I saw 2 seasons of the Mandalorian. Shout out to Bill Burr, that's been on this podcast, my good friend, old friend and actor. And I know him from stand-up. Let's see here. Doing stand-up. We did sets in the Lower East Side. I'm really thankful for my career. You know, you can check me out at Rob88 Cantrell on Instagram for shows coming up. And the big one I'm plugging, and the lineup is insane. It's Joe Pera, Dina Hashem. Dina's been on this show, probably one of the best joke writers out there right now, and funny and cool. She did something on New Year's with a band. I think she played like Webster Hall with a band. Like, she's kind of got a punk rock vibe to her. I always like the punk rock style of comedy. I mean, the indie crew or whatever, like, I always did it. But I tell you what was always fascinating was this venue called Surf Reality in the Lower East Side. Like, that was the closest I've seen to something. I don't know. The Creek in the Cave is really close to CBGB too. I don't know. They romanticize and nostalgicize the 70s in New York. But they didn't have YouTube. You couldn't just YouTube, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to rock? Drinking some cold brew. This place is Hungry Ghost Coffee. They mostly serve Stumptown. I did get a bag of Stumptown. I got a perverse amount of coffee for it's not a generous, amazing, dope-alicious amount of coffee for Christmas. But then I drank it all. Like, I just finished it, and it's like February 3. That's how much coffee I go through. So I had to buy a new bag of coffee from Hungry Ghost. But when you buy a whole bag of beans, and I don't want it grounded, I got my own grinder. They asked it, do you want it grounded? I said, no, just give me the bag of beans. They give you a free coffee. So I grabbed the iced coffee. I already pounded a whole other thing of coffee from that. It was really that good South American Costco coffee I had. I had this big, like, it looked like a satchel. It wasn't even a bag. It was something like you threw over your shoulder and climbed a mountain with a donkey and a Sherpa. Shout out all the Sherpas out there. Shout out all the donkeys, jackasses. Jackass the movie is out. I want to check it out with my old friend Eric Andre. Shout out to him and his crew. And um, hopefully I'll get to see him when he comes to New York. I heard he might be coming this way. And I'll try to ask him to get on the podcast, but he's so busy. It's hard. So I asked a few people, some messages are out there, but I time it like a lot of life is timing. And sometimes I like procrastinate and I'm like, I don't feel like booking because I edit everything and then I chop it all up. So it takes a lot of time. And then I got these other projects. So I'm trying to focus the energy and the attention there. And then you got Twitter and Instagram and fear mongering and politicizing and COVID treatments and all that. And you got to, like, nowadays, it's like all media, you have to like, it's like, oh man, that shit's like soda pop. Like in the 80s, everybody drank soda pop so much and loved soda pop. But then in the 90s, in the 2000s, everybody's teeth was rotten and people were dying of cancer early. I don't know if it was the soda pop, but general health evolves. I always like health evolvement, to evolve. I love evolving. I think that's what we're doing now. Like the chaos and the mass confusion is actually, we find stability within the chaos. Is the crazy thing, is how human beings adapt. So we don't even know how, it's like throwing a cat up in the air, we're trying to land. And that's how it feels like. I just want to land and keep running right into non-COVIDness. But I guess it's a little bit of what we're dealing with. I guess health, that's the gig, I've been still wearing masks and I'm washing my hands. I'm doing my vitamins, doing my stretching, doing my meditations. But I haven't been as regimented on my vitamin. I need to uptick that. I went so hardcore in the paint for so long that I think I just kind of fell. But the thing is like when things get so regimented, it loses life. So a lot of it's just like staying loose and shaking it up. That's what I love about doing this podcast, it's always fun. Let's try some of this sherbet and talk about Boba Fett. No, Boba Fett, like the intro's dope. His outfit is mean. His place where he like meditates in this water tank. Luke Skywalker, they made him all young looking. I don't know what's going on. I'm a little messed up. And Grogu, the little fucking man, it is a complex but amazing, cool, simple show. Boba Fett. But man, does it make me happy. But visually, it's so fucking stunning sometimes. Every episode, there's like 2 or 3 scenes that I'm like, holy shit, that's either beautiful or amazing or creative. But sometimes there's some acting scenes that I sometimes, I started watching it like late at night and I started falling asleep to it. And then I was like, yo, I'm going to watch it during the day. But, I'll partake in a little bit of herb and I'll watch it. But I think I was so like, it does make me fall asleep sometimes. But I think that's a little bit of my age and that's a little bit of the run and gun. I'm feeling like so ready to get out on stage. I felt a little bit, I have been doing stand-up comedy since 1999, motherfuckers. For a long time. So to take this much of a break and then start back up and then take a break again, it's like, I'm kind of getting used to staying in and I love sleeping. And at my age, it's nice to go to bed at a good hour. But I think a lot of it, I just want to set up my life where I feel most natural. And I have to say, this with the cannabis legalization, with health going towards yoga and meditation and kindness, and like I'm reading this book called Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. Check it out, man. It's like 300 pages. I'm on two like 15, and it's been like 5 weeks. It's a self-help book, so I read everything. I got a highlighter. This dude was a monk, lived in an ashram, man, right out of high school or college or business school. And he did like 3 or 4 years mob deep. And then he came out and started writing a book. And now he's out west and he's in LA, and he has he has the Fresh Prince. Will Smith is, writing the recommendation in the byline. So no, but it is it's a powerful, dope, super dope book. I'm gonna send it to one of my relatives after I'm done, but or maybe I'll order it because I like having the copy around. A lot of it is like you kind of gotta. That's why a good highlighter is great. I got some sick highlighters. And for Christmas, the same cat that got me the amazing coffee got me all these Sharpies. I'm a very simple man. I like Sharpies for coloring. I like drawing. I want to get back into, I've been drawing a little bit. I've been doodling and then expanding on the doodle. But sometimes you hate on your doodle. You're like, oh, I'm fucking being not concentrating. But sometimes that's the shit you should be concentrating on. Like I'm trying to write the script. I have written a couple scripts, but I'm going over them and updating shit. And I'll start doodling, but sometimes the doodle's better than the script. Now the script is great, but writing you really got to work at. All of it you got to work at. And that's the cool thing about life and time I've been thinking about is like the human body, like the physical body only reacts to space and time, and it's not the spirit. So you kind of have to be the observer. I don't know. Uh, all I gotta say is, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready to watch some Boba Fett? Boba Fett is one of the sickest shows out there. This is Sunrise Sherbet. I got my glass 1 this morning I had some CBD of that sour diesel. I had sour diesel, but I had CBD, but then I had that super high THC content. So I was like not smoking much of that. You have to watch out for the sativa. Especially the high THC sativa can make your heart race like coffee. So you have to watch that a little bit. This Sunrise Sherbet is super dope and super mellow. It's just rainy and nasty and Seattle-y out there right now. I got my hat. I got my dark brown corduroys. I got an ample supply of good cannabis and some I finished a big French roast, but now I'm French press. But now I have a free ice coffee. But the ice is kind of watered down, but that's probably good. I got one of these Nalgene bottles. I'm trying to crush one or two of these, and I've been pretty good about that. I got it down to coffee, water. I do have to say, I like me a chai tea now and then. We'll have to do a chai tea episode. I like all those kung fu. I like those tea places because pounding coffee 24/7, I think the older I get, I gotta, kind of encapsulate it. Get it down to at least one French press, maybe a couple cups of really good espresso. I really want to try out. I think I got to order a bag or talk to somebody. If anybody knows Willie Nelson's Willie Nelson's brand, and it's called what is it? Brand? It's called Willie Select. But he also does he does a he has a tea company, a coffee and tea company, and I want to try that. I mean, Willie Nelson is such a good. I mean, I don't know. Everybody does their own thing, but this guy has been in entertainment forever, and he was just like Same as Snoop Dogg. Like he's 88 years old and he's still rocking it. And he's still probably higher than I am right now. Yeah, what's his cannabis company? He has a great cannabis company. Really, it's Willie's Reserve. Yeah, Willie's Reserve. If you ever are at the dispensary, yeah, Willie's Reserve. But they make a good coffee, and I want to definitely try out their coffee. Just a good entertainment, American country music legend. All about farmers, and it's an American company. They got gear. It's a great company. I mean, I was with them. I did an event that they sponsored, and I think it was like one of the original like places that they were. I mean, it was like the original workers, like they were just working a booth for the company, and but they gave me a great. I have a great Willie's Reserve sweatshirt that I love, that I'm proud to wear. But they need to come back out east. They need to get some of this, but they're mostly in California and Colorado, mostly Colorado. That's where the gig was. I've seen them at dispensaries everywhere. Shout out Weed Maps. That's my favorite app for finding dispensaries. If ever, it's just on my phone. It's crazy that that's on your phone these days. Yeah, I love the new Boba Fett. I've been watching these surf videos, getting into surfing again, getting into snowboarding. That's kind of where my head's at. That and this gig coming up. Oh, and Matt Koff. Oh, he's Emmy Award winning, joke writing. Great. This dude is, I've known him since he started comedy, but very humble, cool, smart, great joke writer. And he got a job writing at the Daily Show, even back in the Jon Stewart era. And now he's been writing with the Trevor era. And Matt Koff is going to be on the show. So it's Matt Koff, Joe Pera, and Dina Hashem. And then I'll be hosting, and I'm just doing it just to get friends out. Everybody wears masks. That place is super vaccinated. I'm all about the vax it up. Especially if you're coming out to a comedy show. I feel a little bit safer. And New York's the good that way. I will say that. It's a good state. It's a great city. Love being here. But I also can't wait to get back out there. I'm going to be in Denver on 420. That's another date. Check out my I don't want to make this all plugged out, but check out my website. I got a simple, super setup with my dates. But I'm doing a week out in Denver during the 420, and also some big news coming down the pike, possibly a big taping for 420. So that's kind of the news that is coming down the pipe. But I will also just want to just say thank you, and I appreciate everybody that has supported this podcast. Support the Patreon. We're gonna do. I don't know how this video. I paid for the upgrade of Zoom, and I thought the video was gonna be super dope, but it's I don't know. So I'm getting the cameras together. This one I wanted to do more of just giving shots out to Cheap Trick and Boba Fett and Sunrise Sherbet and Stumptown Coffee via Hungry Ghost. If you're ever in Brooklyn, Hungry Ghost is a great coffee shop. They got a wide selection of Stumptown coffee. Some treats. I had an apple turnover the other day that was amazing. It's like I want a healthy version of McDonald's apple pie. That's the gig. That's what I'm. Love me some apple. I got some great granola that I'm excited about. Brown sugar granola. Try that out. It was like, and it's not. It's like it's in its own like plastic bin. Like it's some deep hippies, some llama owning hippies, some kombucha crushing uh, hippies definitely made this granola, and it's hitting. I had some good yogurt, some foggy yogurt, good honey. Boom, boom, bam, bing bong. Shout out. I do love the Bing Bong Cat, Nems, the rapper Nems. The weird thing about him going viral, like people were telling me, but I guess maybe people were just looking at the computer. I don't know. But I do live in New York, so people kind of knew about him in New York. Maybe that's what it was. And I know New Yorkers, I mean, the Big Bong thing is definitely the MTA. That is the vibe. Um, Coney Island's crazy out there. It's just a big, big place. But Frank Sinatra wanted to buy a hotel out there. I always thought like having a hotel at Coney Island, if it got cleaned up a little bit, it's such a funky, wild, cool place. And you could take the subway there. There's the ocean. There's the beach. Boom, bip. It's all right there. It's one of my favorite places. Shout out Coney Island. Shout out Nims. Shout out Sunrise Sherbet. Great cannabis. Nalgene bottles of lots of water. Washed out iced coffee in the afternoon of a rainy day. I love you. Like and subscribe. Check out the Patreon. Dope live show coming to Brooklyn, Littlefield venue, February 20th, President's Day weekend. Get your powder wig on and come on down. We're going to have a great comedy show. I love you. Peace. One love. Vibe it out. Bye.
Dig this.